This week's Mind Espresso is one of my favorite topics: Energizers versus de-energizers, or vampires. People who leave you feeling worse than when you encounter them. What happens? And why are vampires alone, ostracized? We're going to turn to Rob Cross, who wrote The Power of Social Networks, and he actually studied this within organizations, but it's absolutely applicable to your own life as well. So what he found is that there are certain people who leave you de-energized, right? Who suck the life out of you. They're vampires. Other people leave you full of energy and you want to get back to them. And people who are vampires and de-energizers can't understand why the world doesn't work, and like the world just seems easier for energizers. So what he found is that energizers have 5 qualities. Number 1, they focus on possibilities and vision versus problems and complaints, right? So your vampire, they can find a black cloud in any silver lining. You bring up an idea, they're automatically going to start bringing in the negatives around it. And it's not that energizers don't look at the hard facts about any problem. It's just they don't focus on them, and they don't marinate in the negativity, right? It's the negativity that's killer. Number 2, energizers engage in creating energy. They're thinking about, how do I create energy in the moment? And that means they have to be very present in their communications, not on your phone, not focused on yourself. Vampires are worried about how they look, and they're focused on themselves rather than creating energy in the relationship. The third one is that energizers are always seeking to learn, right? They've got a growth mentality. And in that interaction, they're trying to learn as much as they can, right? They create energy so they can pull out energy that ultimately benefits them. Vampires are pushing agendas, right? They're focused on their piece of the puzzle. The fourth one is that energizers are adaptable and flexible towards goals. They're goal-oriented. They're not running away from goals, and they're not running away from the hard problems around these goals. But they're able to facilitate towards goals while incorporating different points of view and remaining flexible. Vampires, they're rigid and they're worried about control. And finally, energizers have integrity and candor. They're able to speak with candor because they do have integrity and they have competence and demonstrated competence. De-energizers are manipulative. They don't stick to their agenda. They don't keep their word. And because of that, they leave you feeling drained. So to sum this all up, whether it's in your personal life or your work life, focus on possibilities and vision. Don't be the black cloud in the silver lining. Think about creating energy in a relationship rather than bringing something to, right? Then third, always seek to learn. Focus on what you can get out of an interaction so that you can make everything better. Don't be pushing an agenda. Then be adaptable and flexible, but goal-oriented, right? You got to finish. And then finally, make sure that you are viewed with integrity and candor so that people trust you, so that they don't have to worry about what you're really thinking. So energizers versus vampires. Vampires live lonelier lives. They don't have as many connections. They don't perform as well as work, and they can't figure out why people don't want to be around them, right? Energizers seem lucky. It just seems natural to them. And that's because they focus on a set of things that are more about the interaction than about themselves. So energizers versus vampires, that's this week's Mind Espresso.
Austin, you did a great job.